Hey, what's going on, guys? Dr. Sexy I'm here. A little bit pensive today because there's a topic that I'm very, very concerned about that I want to discuss. On the 1st of March, the Gleaner printed an article talking about parents who are pimping their children for economic reasons. Now, I want to read a little bit of the article for you so you get a grasp of what the problem is, and then I'll get into it. So basically it says, almost a year after the St. Thomas police raised the red flag that parents in the area were pushing their children into sexual activities in return for money, the problem is continuing with fresh concerns about the impact that this is having on the children. He goes on to say that the Social Development Commission's representative, who is Lorianne Pierce Roberts, she said, "What I have seen is a pimping of our children whereby families are unable to take care of themselves economically, so the children are given the responsibilities for bringing the money to the family. The girls especially are foisted on men who have money and they are expected to support the family. It's not a guessing game, it's a widespread problem across the parish of St. Thomas." Now, this is not only a problem across the parish of St. Thomas, it's a well-known problem across the country, across Jamaica. This is something that has been happening for as long as I can remember. Now, I specifically wanted to bring this to the fore because most of us are aware of the situation. This is no secret. This is not something that seems weird or whatever. It is so rampant that it's almost normal. And there's no outrage. Where's the outrage? Where's the concern? Where are the people who are, out there to protest? Where's the church? The church who's supposed to be protecting the innocent, and who is more innocent than a child who's just doing what their parents want them to do, who's just trying to make their parents happy. Now, I'm bringing this to the fore because I realize that our priorities are very twisted and we need to address that. Now, I love Jamaica and I love who we are and I love what we are. And we are a fantastic contradiction of terms and a lot of wonderful things. But we are also very, very warped in our thinking. Now, as it relates to this specific issue, nothing has been done about it. And I can remember this being an issue for as long as it's almost normal. When you hear about the fact that there's somebody in the community who likes the 13-year-old girl and her mother sends her over to this person's house and that person takes care of buys food for the family or pays the family's bills, it doesn't sound strange. It's not something that gets somebody to gasp in shock and awe, saying, "Oh my God, how could this happen?" Because it's almost normal. And yet, we have so much passion for other things. So much passion for things that, in my opinion, are completely none of our business. Case in point, this homosexual thing. Now, if you remember, back in 2014, I think it was somewhere around June, when some 25,000 plus people took to the streets to protest, people representing the church talking about they will not be tricked or coerced into making impulsive or emotive pronouncements on the ongoing debate that has sparked the dismissal of Professor Brendan Bain, a retired University of West Indies professor who lost his job because of how he spoke because of his anti-gay stance on the law that is there now. And I find it very interesting. So hold on. It is more important for us to stop two adults from doing what they want to do than it is to stop the parents who are pimping out their children for money. Really? That's the representation that we want. We are more concerned with stamping on the rights of adults who are deciding who they love and what they do with their lives than we are about the fact that children are being placed in a situation where they literally don't have any choice because they're under the guidance of their parents and their parents are sending them in harm's way, and we don't see any problem with that, and everybody's okay with that, and this isn't something that we think we should deal with. This isn't something that requires any kind of outcry. This isn't something that requires 25,000 people in the streets marching about. Really? That is what we want to represent as Jamaicans? That is the Jamaica we want to be? No. I know a lot of persons don't agree with me, and that's fine. I'm used to being disagreed with. But let's just think of it this way. We invest more in stopping adults from doing what it is that makes them happy than we do in protecting our children. Now let that marinate for a minute. Think about the significance of that for a minute and try to see how important is it for us to stand behind this anti-gay movement that we get so much pride from. I don't understand what we're so proud of, because as far as I'm concerned, this is a bigger problem. This is something that warrants us going out in the streets. The fact that children are being forced to engage in sex so that their families can eat is an issue that we should take very seriously and we should be making a lot of noise about. But alas, there's no noise. It's accepted. Most people, if you talk to them, they know at least of one of this situation and nothing is being done about it. Now, I'm going to do my part by bringing some light to this because, as I said, this is no secret. But maybe if we bring it in this kind of form, it will spark a conversation because things start with conversations. So let's just think about the situations that we know of, because I know a lot of us do know of these situations, and I know a lot of us can identify an individual or individuals who are engaging in this very thing. And think about how important is it for us to rescue those children and what it means for that child who's been placed in this situation and how it's affecting them mentally and how it's affecting who they become in the future. Remember, we say young people are our future, children are our future, and this is the start that we give them. What are we setting up for generations to come? How do we expect us to grow? How do we expect us to compete on a global scale when something like this is normal? We need to fix it. Now, I know this is usually the kind of video that I do, or this isn't the topic that I talk about, but I really felt moved to address it because this is something that I've always felt strongly about, because I think our priorities need some adjustments. I think the things that we make a lot of noise about are none of our business, and the things that we should make a lot of noise about, we don't pay any attention to, and we need to adjust that. We need to start defending the people who need defending, like the children who are being forced to do things by their parents that not only will affect them in the long run, but it's completely illegal. And the truth of the matter is that their parents are the ones that are supposed to be protecting them, and they're not doing their jobs. The rest of us need to stop sitting by and allowing that to happen. Send me your questions, drsexylive@gmail.com. Of course, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter @DrSexyAn. And certainly ponder on this for a minute. You can definitely, I'll put the links up for the various articles, the one about the gay march and also the one about the kids, and we can start the process. As I said, I believe it all starts with conversation. When we start talking about these things, when we start bringing them out and we start having meaningful conversation about them, then we can start to get the ball rolling. So share it, like it, subscribe to it, and certainly leave your comments down below. In the meantime, take care of yourself and each other, and don't forget to stay sexy. Later, guys.